In late October of 2025, a little game called Arcraiders released. I don't think anyone really knew how big this game would get, but it completely took over gaming for 6 straight months. I understand Steam charts aren't the most accurate way, but I'm not just using Steam charts. Arcraiders started November 2025 with an average player count of 264,000 players. In the last 30 days, it has averaged 29,500 players. That's an insane drop-off. That's about 10% of the player base. While I don't have the best data to compare it off of with PS charts, it is down a ridiculous amount there too. It is down to number 46, dropping a full 17 spots since the last market. And I think I can narrow this down to 3 issues, which I'm going to go over, and I'm going to go over how to fix all 3 of them. First off, we're going to start with the elephant in the room being cheating. Ooh, this is a rough one. Between duping, straight up cheating, such as wall hacks or things like that, it has done near irreparable damage to especially the PvP side of the game. But the main thing here is the dev side. The devs have been absolutely terrible at how they've handled this. They've kind of just told everyone, don't do that, that's bad. We don't like that. You can't do that. That's not an option here. You simply cannot go, that's bad, don't cheat, and expect people to not do it. These are people who are paying $40 for a game, and some of them are even creating new accounts after they get banned because they just like cheating that much. You have to have much stricter regulations on cheating, whether that's adding in your terms of service that you can sue them, or that is straight up IP banning anyone who cheats. You have to do something deeper than saying, we don't like that, that is bad. Because in general, that doesn't matter to most people. What they could do is either make the game 2-factor authentication, basically make it harder to cheat, link it to something personal, or what they should do, in my opinion, is ban streamers. I know they're really trying to not ban their streamers, but that's how you set an example. You set an example by allowing no exceptions to the rule of you cheat, you get banned. Because the moment you make an exception, you have completely broken everything, like even just the trust with your community. Once that's broken, it's really hard to regain, and they did that almost immediately. There was a massive duping exploit, and there were massive streamers using it, and they just kind of took the stuff away from their account, said, don't do that again, and then everyone continued on as if it never happened. We found another duping exploit about 3 days later, and oh look, what do you know? Everyone's still duping. Kind of just defeated the entire purpose of saying no to that. The second thing is the horrific update schedule. Do you know when was the last time we had anything beyond a store update? May. The first week of May was the last time we had anything new added to the game. Do you know how ridiculous that is? For reference, the finals, which is another Empire game, in fact it's their only other game, gets weekly updates. Now granted, I'd say about 2/3 of them are store updates. And they're getting more consistent updates, or I guess we're getting more consistent updates on the finals than we are on Arcraiders. The finals should be harder to add stuff for because you have to balance around a PvP meta. Arcraiders should be much easier to add stuff for. And another part of this is the community side. People got really mad about that last update when in reality, it was a good update. You got what is in my opinion the best map in the game, Riven Tides. Sure, the white flag was a bit goofy and didn't really do anything, but that's kind of the point of the item. And you got an entire new map condition, which granted only appears on the new map, with a new item associated with that. Along with a few other things including crash mats and the powered descender, you got a bunch of really cool things that actually change how you play the game in theory. In reality, people just went back to playing how they did before the update, except for maybe playing some more Riven Tides, which is kind of more on them, but it is also a bit on the devs for how they've implemented those changes. Partially because it didn't feel like they were really listening to community feedback. And they also had a lot of negative changes that people really disliked with that update, such as increasing burn rate durability on lower tier guns, which I don't think anyone really liked. I think everyone was kind of against that. Or nerfing the cloaking device into the ground. The cloak is absolutely useless. It is completely just not good anymore because they said, ooh, this is being used in this one specific scenario way too often, so we're just going to completely nuke it. This is something Embark does, and it really frustrates everyone because they don't ever seem to learn from this mistake, which is you can't just nuke something because it's good in one situation. If something is only good in one situation, in reality, it's not really all that good. And especially with the cloaking device, it was only pretty decent. in the situation it was being used for, because it was mainly used in Operation Close Scrutiny, which since has been tuned down a lot. There's a lot less of that. And it was really just used to get there, you throw a few smoke grenades, and then you can actually loot the things without having to fight all the arc. Well, there's a very simple fix to that, which is to add a little AoE around that where you can't throw anything. So you can't throw the smoke grenades. And oh look, now you've completely fixed this. They just go with this straight up nerf instead of looking for ways to fix that situation where it is way too overpowered. I mean, what you're seeing here is another massive issue because there's only 2 map conditions at once. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but they're the 2 most boring map conditions too. You have the one where you can't see anything and are getting blown around, or you have the night raid, which is just night. It's really boring and they need to do a better job at this. And then, in my opinion, the biggest thing, the thing that actually really did the most damage to the game, that I personally love as a feature, but I understand the issue with aggression-based matchmaking. Aggression-based matchmaking, to put it simply, pairs you with people who play similar to you. So, for example, I don't really like the PvP in this game at all. I don't enjoy how it plays. I don't enjoy the technical side of the PvP at all. So I can basically not shoot anyone and get put into what are nicknamed Care Bear lobbies and never have to fight anyone again. I played the game for 2 months without shooting a single other player. Did I get shot once in there? Yeah. And, you know, I kind of panicked because I wasn't used to getting shot. We can just gloss over that, though. But the main issue here is the fact that I can go that long without shooting someone. And, you know, I made an entire series of walking up to people and saying, I have this really expensive gun, this really hard to obtain item. Would you like to play trivia for it? I went through that entire series, walking up to people and asking them without ever getting a single bullet shot at me. I'm not even going to try to make this flow naturally. If you're wondering why I'm complaining about this, it's because I don't really have a choice. I either playing in these Care Bear lobbies or I'm nonstop fighting against cheaters. Just want to clear that up. Kind of removes a lot of the fun of the game because here's where I get into the actual issue with removing aggression-based matchmaking: randomness. A game like this, an extraction shooter, a game that's specifically built like arcraiders, thrives on randomness. The looting is random. Player interaction should be random. The arc spawned a little more randomly. Things like that are what make the game replayable. It makes it a unique experience every time. But the moment you take the players being random out of it, everything else becomes a lot less random. And I'm not even saying that I would like there to be no aggression-based matchmaking at all. What I'm saying is make it an option. Because maybe sometimes I do want to go play PvP. Maybe sometimes I want to have these more unfriendly lobbies. In that case, let me just turn off aggression-based matchmaking. It doesn't factor in, and we go back to, you know, how it was day one, which was completely randomized lobbies. There was, to my knowledge, to pretty much everyone's knowledge at least, according to what I can find, there was no real matchmaking. It was kind of, are you on the same server? Are you close enough to each other to not have terrible ping? Okay, you're in the same lobby. That was what it was. And there was something special about those early days of you can't really trust anyone. The best you can do towards trust is not shooting at each other for maybe 30 seconds, parting ways, and then watching your back, making sure they're not going to sneak up on you and shoot you. That's what made the first merchant video so special, is I didn't know if I was about to get shot. I was putting my life in their hands and pretty much praying that I didn't get shot. Did I end up getting shot once or twice? Yeah. I was good enough to win those, of course, because, you know, I'm just that guy. But the difference there is it added something so special, something I have never felt in any other game, which was I don't know what another person's going to do. Every other game, what players do gets predictable at some point. What the CPU is going to do gets predictable at some point. I can go play College Football 27, and I'm already at the point, which this is maybe a little specific to me, I know what play is about to be run before they snap the ball.
Trio, bunch, running back, same side, and this is the bubble and the main coverage.
I know what play is going to be run, or maybe an approximation. Maybe I get the difference between a bubble and a flat route wrong. That's pretty much it, though. And that allows me to be so dominant in that game that it kind of loses its fun. The same thing happens in the finals. As someone who's hit Ruby in the finals, which is top 500 if you don't know, I get to the point where I know if I'm going to win a fight before, or even just after the first shot is fired in some cases.
Okay, I'm 100% done here. You need a coin. Coin. Okay, yeah, dang it.
Sometimes I'm wrong about that, which is really awesome, because sometimes they miss an extra 2 bullets, or sometimes I miss an extra 2 bullets, or sometimes someone else comes in third parties. The human element is always going to be more random than any computer can ever be, because believe it or not, computers are terrible at being random. So then if you combine that human element with a non-human element, you get the most randomness possible. That is honestly computers' biggest weakness. They can't be random. It's a reason that it's so hard to encrypt anything, is computers don't know how to be random. You can look up so many videos on how the randomness of computers is created. Really, really cool. So all I'm saying is add a setting, maybe even have it off by default. That would be my choice, is have it off by default, where nothing counts towards your aggression-based matchmaking score. Maybe you could even make this the only mode for trials or something. Encourage people to play this mode, and I think you'd have a massive resurgence because of how different the game feels, how you can't really trust anyone, how player interaction becomes more random, more daunting, but also a lot more fun because of the randomness. Randomness is what drives extraction shooters beyond all other game genres. You remove the randomness, extraction shooters no longer are as fun. And by the way, this is a major reason I think Marathon completely flopped, which it undeniably flopped. There's no subjectivity here. Marathon was a massive flop. They 100% lost hundreds of millions of dollars on it, which is crazy they spent that much on it in the first place. Besides the point, because there was no randomness. You would never run into someone and be friends with them in Marathon. The moment you ran into someone, it was shoot on sight. And that's what was so special about arcraiders. It was different from Tarkov. It was different from every other extraction shooter. Was the community actually was nice, which it's really sad that that's a rare thing, but that's besides the point. This is the exact thing that made arcraiders so special. Was you didn't know what was going to happen. In Tarkov, it was shoot on sight. In Marathon, it's shoot on sight. In arcraiders, it's do I shoot? Are they responding? Because if they're not talking back, you're completely within your rights to shoot. But if they're talking back and being friendly, they have their gun away, you feel sympathy and you don't actually want to shoot them. That's what makes the game special. They need to find a way to go back to that. And what I'm suggesting is the way that I've thought of that may be the best way to do this. Because you obviously don't want to offend the people who just want to play PvE, don't like fighting at all, just like the looting and fighting the arc part. But you also don't want to offend the people and, draw the solo, only PvP players directly into these lobbies where, maybe they feel bad for people who actually want to be friends, but they do want a PvP. So you basically create this mid-ground where you have the players who turn on aggression-based matchmaking to have PvE only lobbies. You have the people who turn on aggression-based matchmaking to have these only PvP lobbies. And then you have the middle, probably third on, the middle would probably be 2/3 actually, where it is just randomness. It is just people who are there because they love the extraction shooter genre and want the mix. You draw people away from the extremes and more towards the middle, and you're gonna have a much, much more fun game, not only for the PvE players, but for the PvP players. Also, side note, can we stop asking for a PvE mode? That's just silliness, let's be real. PvE would completely defeat everything good about this game. If you want to go play PvE, you can go play, I don't even know. Do you know why I don't know? Because every game that is PvE only just dies. Because it removes 90% of the fun from those kind of games. Because bots can only be so random, as I stated earlier. And if you're curious why I'm making this video, I've had a few people ask me why I stopped making arcraiders videos. And to put it simply, the game got boring. I mean, honestly, about halfway through my last series, which was the trivia series, I kind of was just done with the game. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't fun, but I saw enough people enjoying it, enough people learning out of it, that I thought it was worth continuing. And then Satisfactory videos started blowing up, and I decided, well, I enjoy Satisfactory enough that I'm gonna just stop playing arcraiders. And I really hold by that decision. I think arcraiders got to the point where it just wasn't fun anymore. And part of that is I play the game way too much. I mean, to be fair, I actually have a lot less hours than a lot of people. I just crossed 300 hours, and I know that sounds like a lot, but over a total of, what has it been, 9 months with me making videos on the game, that's not really that much. And before you do the math, yes, that's 1.1 hours per day for a full 9 months. I know that sounds insane, but between making videos, which I was probably spending 2 hours a day making videos for a month or two of that, and the ridiculous 110 hours I put in pretty much a month after the game released, I had some serious issues. I know 110 hours in a month is kind of utterly insane, but after the game was released, which I had been waiting for literally 8 months, it was just well timed. I didn't have anything else to do. So I've had basically 200 hours in 8 months. That's not really all that crazy if you really consider the content creation side of it. But I could be completely wrong here. I would like to know your thoughts, opinions, whatever, all just everything in that general vicinity, because this is something that I've been thinking about and researching for a bit, and this seems to be the